Hey, self healers. I know that a lot of you are making an effort to regulate your nervous system, and sometimes you struggle with nervous system regulation practices for a variety of reasons, and likely in a variety of ways. Like any self care, it can be hard to create a practice of nervous system regulation, and just remember to stick to it. But that doesn't make it any easier when you're trying all the things, like you're trying every possible nervous system regulation, everything that you can find on the internet. You're scouring the internet, signing up for this, signing up for that, trying this, trying that. It can be overwhelming to your nervous system to do too many things, especially when I know your life is already very full and busy. But also, even just trying one or a few things, but they're not working for you. They're just not, you're not sure if they're working or if you're doing them right. Some people struggle with that. But I also know that, like most healing or self-care things, nervous system regulation is going to be a little triggering. And there's no one-size-fits-all one thing that's going to just regulate your nervous system. And I also know that nervous system regulation doesn't always look like what we expect it to look like. So the real struggle with nervous system regulation, all these things that I've just mentioned, is really just a lack of support. Your effort is not being supported well enough. You're trying to figure it out on your own. And your whole human being or your whole human self isn't being supported in the right ways for nervous system regulation, because there's so many components to nervous system regulation. Because like anything to do with us, like if we try to quiet our thoughts, our body and our emotions factor into that. If we try to avoid our emotions, it affects our physical body, it affects our mind, our thoughts, our mental health. And when we're trying to regulate our nervous system, we also have to look at the big picture, the whole self, so we can support our human being, our human body in the right ways, beyond the body as well. But we need to learn how to reset, how to self-soothe in new ways. Like you'll likely learn to self-soothe out of necessity in the ways that you currently self-soothe, but we learn in our childhood. And those were ways that you may have learned to self-soothe that were for surviving and coping with things that you're not surviving and coping with anymore. And also trying to self-soothe or self-care or cope in ways that helped us survive in the past may not be what we need in the present. So we have to learn new ways. We also have to learn emotional regulation. And I know it's scary. We don't want to deal with our emotions because it's exhausting and time consuming, and it can derail us and make it hard to function just basic stuff from day to day. We also need to practice with some vagus nerve stimulation, some breathing, intentional breathing, some movement, but I don't mean exercise necessarily, although it can be. We need to work with our senses, and we also need to change some of our stories. All of these things and more actually factor into getting regulated, along with knowing what to expect, because your nervous system will still go into fight or flight. There's no level of nervous system regulation that's going to shut off your nervous system. You're going to have stress response sometimes when things are stressful, when your body detects a threat, which is why it's really important to have a clear and realistic idea of what to expect from nervous system regulation so you can practice successfully and feel a sense of empowered connection to your body and your innate ability to recover from stress, emotions, and life's ups and downs that comes from having the right tools and the right amount of support. So I mention this because in the new year, in 2025, there's going to be more opportunities to work with me to create sustainable nervous system regulation practices and other opportunities to learn more about nervous system regulation and regulation in general. But for now, today's the last opportunity to sign up for the vagus nerve reset technique that I'm teaching tomorrow at noon Eastern online. And I'm going to put that link in the description of this video so you can go check it out and get signed up. But remember that time is limited. Again, there will be some opportunities next year, but if you want some help getting through the holidays and you want to have a little quick taste of what it's like to work with me or to work with your vagus nerve, work with self-soothing, resetting, and supporting regulation, this is a great opportunity to do that. So join me for the workshop, a very merry Vegas holiday special, and I'll see you there. I'm excited. I hope you join me. If not, I hope to see you in the new year. Ready to go, ready to get regulated, ready for some self-healing support.